I keep saying feminism is a scam.
Feminism is a scam. I do not want to be independent. I want to be so codependent. I need my husband. I want my husband. I want to follow his lead. That's how God created me. He created me in a way to follow. He created me as a helpmate. He created me as the opposite to Adam, right? Okay? I always tease and say, this is biblically, if you read Genesis, God looks at everything and was like, oh, the light's good, the darkness is good, the plants are good, the animals are good, the man, oh, he ain't good. That's not good.
Not good at all.
But you know what's going to make it good? He needs a woman.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of It's Giving. I am your host, Sarah Fontenot, and if you have not yet, please hit that button below so you can get subscribed. Hit that bell so you get a notification with each new piece of content. Now, I gotta tell you, each week we are bringing you the goods, okay? And not only is it about to be my birthday, but it's also our 100th episode today. We've made it to 100 episodes, guys. We are in the top 10% of podcasts because did you know that 73% of podcasts don't even make it to the 25th episode? So if that's you and you're in that family, congratulations to you as well. This is a huge, huge, huge landmark for us. And, you know, I decided to make it a little special. Someone is visiting me in town and I was like, you know what? I might as well ask this incredible serial entrepreneur. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's been in a relationship for about 23 years, has 2 kids and a dog. And, you know, I was like, you know, I could probably learn some things and also get to know me better because who knows you better than your family? Without further ado, can we please give it up for my sister, my best friend, my ace, my ride or die, my girl, Lauren Key.
Yeah, I'm going to carry you around in my pocket, though. What's up? I love that introduction.
How you feel?
I feel amazing. Grateful to be here.
I'm so happy you're here.
Congratulations on the 100th episode.
100 episodes is crazy.
Can I tell your viewer something?
Yeah.
I have watched every single episode, and every single episode I take something away. This is my little sister. I should say my younger sister.
True.
Although she's littler than me. So this is my little sister. Okay. But I really just super admire her heart, her strength, her dedication, her perseverance. If you knew the story before this podcast even started, boy, that is a story for another day. But can I just take a moment and just say I'm super duper proud of you. I'm so grateful. You teach me lessons even without like actually writing them down. Just watching the way that you live, watching the way that you work, watching that you are so dedicated and determined for all the things that you are going for. I'm super duper proud of you. And I'm so grateful to be here on the 100th episode of It's Giving. It's giving hard work. It's giving dedication. It's giving get through the struggle. It's giving no matter what. It's giving show up and show out.
Period.
It's giving beautiful, by the way.
It's an us thing. It's definitely an us thing.
But more so, it's giving. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of you too because you actually just started your own podcast.
I did.
Sis, Take My Hand.
Sis, Take My Hand.
It is a spiritual-based podcast, biblically-based podcast. And I love that you guys dive into the word and you challenge the status quo.
We do.
You want to give us a piece of like what it is a little bit?
I would love to, yes. So you can follow us on all platforms at Sis, Take My Hand. And essentially, we're bringing virtue back. We're going for what's holy over for what's popular, right? We're doing what's in the Bible, not what's in the culture. And it's really like, sis, take my hand and let's follow God for real. Because it's one thing to, say you're a Christian and it's one thing to say that you love God, but it's another thing that are your actions aligning with what the word of God would call you to be or who you are in Christ. We're working hard to just put the word out there. And I think what's even the craziest thing to me, what I've gleaned the most from doing a podcast, we do seasons, y'all. So go watch season 1, season 2, season 3 is coming out real soon. And I'm super grateful for that. But what's so crazy is offering those life lessons that I've learned, biblically and grown through, not just personally, but through scripture, right? 15 years a Christian, which is wild. I always call myself the dang it Christian because it's like, as soon as I find out that there's a rule or a stipulation, I'm like, dang it, why don't I know that now? Why do I gotta do better? Why do I gotta be better?
I don't want to do this.
Why do I gotta forgive folks? Why do I gotta, why, right? But inside, it's like, inside of that, I think it's really cool. And I know it may seem a little morbid, but I'll get to leave those lessons for my children's children. Like maybe one day my granddaughters, oh man, it'll make me tear up, might hear their grandma's stance on how she got through something, or might hear their grandma's stance on, or their great-great-grandma's stance on, how to be a beautiful woman in Christ and how to follow the rules of the good 66 books that Jesus blessed us with to follow our life by.
Yeah,
so that we can
I
live
love
life
it. And
more
I watched
abundantly.
your episodes. And there's one actually that sticks out. You guys did a series on it. And it was called, Are You Single? No. Are you celibate or are you single?
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay. Easy to say. Y'all is married, okay? It's a little bit different. But I just love that you guys are really having the very real conversation. So thank you for acknowledging my podcast. And also, I love what you're doing with your podcast.
you.
And it's really,
Following your
really cool.
footsteps.
We
Can't wait to get to episode 100.
Episode 100 is crazy.
That's wild.
That's like real commit. That's real. And give
real
it up for the
commitment.
team. I gotta give it up for Kenny and Anissa.
It's giving hip hop.
We've been riding, y'all. When I tell y'all, we've been riding this thing till the wheels fall off. So I'm definitely going to connect your podcast, Kenny and Anissa. I'll definitely tag them below because it has been almost 2 years of consistency, of no matter what, of long shoot days, of doing the research, of the marketing. Like there's so much that we've been so intentional about. And, anything that you want to grow, you have to be intentional about. So just major shout out to the team, y'all.
Y'all
All right, so we're about to jump into this episode.
Yes. Okay, so guys, I'm using my phone only because I'm old in real life and I wouldn't be able to remember all of these questions just inside of my brain. And I want this to be a beautiful thing. So I wrote some questions down that I thought that the It's Giving podcast. Oh, wait, you guys, we're called the Givers. And I say we're because I'm part of the giving community. Okay, so if you're a giver and you're watching this, it's #Givers.
Yes,
okay.
please.
I thought it would be really cool for the Givers to get to know Sarah on a Sarah level. Because one thing that I really admire about your podcast is you have a lot of like moguls and business owners and like phenomenal human beings who come on here, and 9 out of 10 podcasts out there, they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to, get you to enroll in their course, or they're trying to push their business forward, which is great and that's beautiful. But I really love that you get to know the person behind who's doing it all. And so I would like to get to know the person behind who's doing it all for It's Giving. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I don't know when you thought, literally we were like, I was like, I have my 100th episode coming up. And Lauren was like, I want to be on. I was like, oh my God, we should totally do it. And then she's like, I'm going to ask you questions. I didn't know that was that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm nervous.
So question number 1.
Okay.
What inspired you to start this podcast? And did you ever think you'd make it to 100 episodes?
Oh my gosh. That's such a loaded question.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know at home, and you definitely know, this is my 3rd podcast.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful for both of the 2 that I've done before this one. The first podcast is actually one of the reasons. It wasn't the podcast, but it was coming to Atlanta every month for 6 months, 10 days out of the month, so that we could shoot a Wednesday and a Wednesday. That's actually how I met Kenny. And we had done a bunch of episodes, and I was calling all my friends.
When you say coming to Atlanta, where'd you come from?
I was flying in from LA.
Okay.
I was buying my own flight. I was paying for my own hotel. I was spending about $5,000 investing to come to Atlanta to build this new podcast. And ultimately, that guy and I had different visions, which is so perfect because while coming to Atlanta, I got the Atlanta energy because California was so like manicures and facials and brunch and
walks on the beach.
Yes, it was very much that. But here it was like, oh my God, I could go so much harder. So I picked up and I moved to Atlanta. So I never would have moved to Atlanta had I not done that podcast. I never would have met Kenny, who is like my producer, creative director, and also one of my, he does so much in this business too. I'm just so grateful. This business and my others. And then I started a podcast. I had 2 women that asked me to do a podcast. And it was really cool because we all had very different viewpoints, but scheduling was hard. We were all so busy. And again, we just had different visions. And so I decided, to start my own podcast. Like, who is always going to be available for me? Me, like who is always going to be able to do, like, you just got to do it, know? And so did I think I would get to 100 episodes? Yes. I think I'll get to 500 episodes. Maybe I'll get to 1,000 episodes. Maybe it'll be via talk show instead of podcast, or, maybe it'll look a little bit different, but I absolutely know that I'm not going to stop because this is something that I adore doing. I love getting to share my perspective. And then also it's like, who would have thought that just by me being myself that I could really impact in this way? Because I think that my social media very much used to be like pretty pictures and quotes, but people didn't necessarily understand my essence. Yeah. And I think I'm a very complicated, contradictory person in the sense where we're all walking contradictions. Yeah. I just will acknowledge that. And so inside of that, it makes me feel like people are starting to understand my essence. Like, I'm not here to cheer on the guys. I'm not here to cheer on the girls. I'm here to cheer for the truth, at least what I view the truth as. And whoever my tribe is and is in alignment with that, who want to be better, who want to have self-love and self-awareness and self-accountability, those things start to change your life. So that's really why, like, I wanted a chance. I loved podcasting. Yeah. I loved the conversations. I loved the way of doing it. And then starting it on my own was terrifying. Yeah. I definitely had those feelings of like, but what if I fail? Oh my God, it's so expensive. Oh my God, how am I going to do this? Oh my God, how am I, like, there's so much that came with it, but I'm so grateful that I just bet on me.
Yeah. I love that. And what I heard you say inside of that is two things. It's like, but what if I fail? But it's like, but darling, what if you fly? Yes, and not only are you just flying, but you're soaring and you are making waves. And the impact, and what I do love is that it isn't just pretty pictures. It isn't just, the quotes that you're saying, but you actually having the knowledge to back that up. Y'all, this girl is an avid reader and she reads every single day and is listening to all of the things and filling her mind with beautiful things. So that's what she gets to. What we put in is what we get out. And I am so proud of you that you just stand in your power and you are very keen to say, this is my opinion, and no one's opinion is ever wrong because it's your opinion. Right. However, it's not just rooted and grounded of like, oh, this is a fleeting thought and I just said it, but it's rooted and grounded in education, in the research, in doing the best that you possibly know how to do, and that's all we can do as human beings. So I love that. One, you're flying.
Thank you.
This brings me to my next question.
Okay.
If you had one piece of advice before you started episode 1 to Sarah yourself, what would it be?
You know what I'm realizing? I'm realizing that, like, my voice, insert your name here, right? My voice, your voice matters, and people want to hear from you. And I think that initially when we started this podcast, it was interview. Every episode was an interview. There was the first episode that was a solo episode, and then it was everything. It was an accident that we even started doing solos.
I love that for you.
Yeah, like literally it was 2 women.
She had a guest cancel.
2 of them.
And then you were like, well,
we're here to shoot
today.
we didn't do this setup for nothing. So and so it was literally because Anissa had been saying, we should respond to these Reddit stories. We should respond to these Reddit stories. And I was like, okay. And then we started reading these Reddit stories, but the stories were so long. So I was like, well, why don't we just ask questions? So then I posted a question thing in my story, and then people started feeding in questions. And then Anissa asked the questions, and now it's become this thing where it's like, the first thing would be is like, your voice is also important.
Yeah.
It's not just to be the interviewer, but to sometimes get a chance to be the interviewee because people want you. This is why they're here. So my word of advice would be, go all in. Use your voice, shine your light, be as bright as you possibly can. And then, it's always funny because people are like, so what do you think? I have a question for you. Do you feel like, because I am not married, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it makes sense for me to be giving the words of advice, quote unquote, that I'm giving while I am a quote single woman. I'm not married.
Yeah, I do. I like I said, I've seen every single episode you've ever done, and advice doesn't have to come from someone who's married for it to be sound. Is advice different when it's tested? Sure, but if you were coming from just like a place where maybe a broken place or a toxic place, or even essentially, I feel what I think is really powerful about your podcast is you hold both men and women accountable. It's not just like, hey, women, stop going for the bag, but it's also, hey, men, like, do the work. Get your healing, because we've had this conversation. Whether you make $60,000 or $6 million, it doesn't. The guy who makes $60,000 could be just as be happier than the guy with $6 million if you haven't done the work on yourself.
Yep.
So I think
and vice versa.
Yeah, and vice versa. But I think that your advice, and listen, I give you single people advice. And I'm not single. Okay, I'm married, and you'll ask me about dating and those things. I'm not dating right now.
Right.
So that's not a relevant point, but I could tell you all the pitfalls that could happen in dating. I could look at a situation and from my best perspective and my best want to protect you, give you the best advice I possibly think. Now, the best thing about advice is it's just someone else's opinion.
Facts.
It's just it is just in fact that. It's just me telling you words. Whether you take that advice and apply it, that's up to you. Whether you take that advice and throw it out the window, because you've done that.
Absolutely.
That's up to you. Right? Whether you live through that advice, like I took that advice and it really did me good, or that was a life experience I hope to never live again. Whatever that looks like, I do. I think you give sound, grounded advice that is rooted inside of what you've read, what you've studied, social media, life experiences, because essentially the advice that every person gives, it really is only through their own spectrum.
Right.
I can only give you what I know relation or have relation to.
Right.
So if you tell me the best way to take a vacation to China, I've never been there. But if you've been there, you might be able to tell me. However, you've never been there. I've never been there. But we've both traveled, right? We could look at the market and say, oh, they're not going to have this or that, or you might want to be prepared for this, or there's X amount of people in China, so you might want to watch out for these 5 things, or there's this sickness going around there, right? So you could give me good advice on how to travel, period, or how to be happy inside of a relationship because you know how to be happy inside of yourself. So it's not about what you're currently in right now. I'm currently in a very happy, beautiful marriage, and I could give someone the best advice, but the reality of it is, you're human that I'm dealing with a human, and you're dealing with a completely different human. You're a completely different human than me. Sometimes people will say, and I don't know if I should say this, but it's coming out. Why is your sister single? And I'm like, I don't know her inside a relationship.
True.
I've never been her boyfriend before, so I couldn't tell you. I was like, you got to go interview the 5 dudes she's dated, and maybe they'll come to like a general consensus inside their relationship. I'm gonna ask a couple of
y'all to come on here.
Like, hold on, can we create a poll? Like, why do you think my sister's single? But also inside of that, like,
why do you think I'm single?
Because you're particular.
Okay.
You just haven't found your person.
I haven't?
And you haven't found your person.
Oh.
And I feel like.
God damn.
I feel like you definitely, listen, y'all, my sister is a lot of things. She is beautiful. She is smart. She is loving. She is kind. In the middle and the core of all of her fierceness and her conquering, because she is good at following through, i.e., we've got 100 episodes, okay? She knows how to follow through at least 100 times, all right? So we know this about her. In the middle of it all, she's just like a little gooey, gushy gummy bear, first and foremost, when you do get to know her. And I'm sure all of her friends who truly know her. And you know what? I actually counted all of her friends last night. We were having an in-depth conversation. I was like, she's got a solid 10, all right? You know who you are, and we love you guys for being her circle, her army, her, what do you call it? Sister goddess warrior tribe.
Yes, my sister goddess.
Something Xena the warrior princess. But all of the sister goddess warrior tribes, I get to be one of them. So like, we can do our warrior call.
Yes.
But inside of that all, I just feel like your standard, you're not willing to bend your standard. And that's not a bad thing. Listen, ladies, for us all, fellas too, for us all, when you create a standard in life, you will actually find someone that you're willing to bend the rules for.
True.
But it shouldn't waver so far from what you want, and you just haven't found that yet. You haven't found the person that you're willing to waver or bend for. Because relationships are, how do I eloquently say, like, they're never perfect. When people say they're not perfect, you find the perfect person for you. So like my husband and I, we are not perfect human beings. We do not have a perfect relationship. We love each other deeply. We've been on this walking journey for 23 years. And it's not perfect. But what we do perfectly is choose each other at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that no matter what, we choose each other. And that every single day we choose each other. So that is the one thing in a relationship that I feel like we have done perfectly is we've decided to choose each other. So I just feel like you haven't found that person that you want to powerfully choose.
Yeah.
And that person, you haven't found that person who wants to powerfully choose you yet. And it's coming if that's what God has.
If that's
for you.
what God has. You know, it's crazy because we were having a conversation, me, you, and our cousin Helen, and we were saying how I think the way that I look at relationships too is like, if I powerfully choose you, I powerfully choose you.
Yeah.
And I can build the love.
True.
And I think that a lot of people don't think that way. I think that a lot of people move in this like emotional, oh, I feel so strongly about you. Okay, well, what if you don't in 6 months or 6 years? Then what happens?
Yeah.
You leave. And I'm not built that way. It's like, I know that love may come and go in a marriage. I mean, you've been with your person decades, right? And it's like, I'm sure love has come and gone, but you still powerfully choose one another. And so I also do think, and I've had this conversation before, that I'm scared to choose wrong because and this is just me being so like transparent and honest, that I feel, and I've said this before, that the majority of people are weak. And the second that something goes wrong, they quit.
Yeah.
It could be from a like on an Instagram post. Like, that's a conversation.
Yeah.
And then allow them the time to fix it,
Yeah.
right? Or all the way to infidelity because there's neglect somewhere in that relationship, right? As much as betrayal on a very small level to the most extreme level and everything in between, people quit.
Yeah.
And people give up. And they say, you know what, maybe this person, and they look for all the reasons why this person isn't for me. But the truth is, if you have effective communication with your person and you're willing to powerfully choose without disrespecting, obviously, we're not talking about abuse. We're not talking about getting crazy. I'm not saying any of that. But if you're willing to choose the person and you both know we could be mad at each other, but I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
The peace that brings in a relationship is so high. And to be honest, and I'm probably going to get eaten alive. I feel like people are trying to twist my words all up on the internet right now. It's hilarious. But until I'm with a person that also has that mindset, where it's like, you have staying power for real, I'm just not interested in dating just to date.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in being in a relationship just to be in a relationship, because honestly, I'm still single.
Yeah.
If I check the box, single, married, widowed, divorced, I'm single.
Yeah.
Right? So I am excited. I am excited for my king though.
Yeah.
I'm popping out
He's
married,
out
y'all.
there. He's
I mean,
out
he
there.
might be here already. I'm
out
just
there.
saying. You saying I don't know him. I'm like,
No, I don't think so.
Damn.
I mean, listen, the thing about it is, this is the thing about relationships, and this is one thing that I've learned in time, even my own relationship. You guys will have to find the last episode I was on, because I told my story. Me and my husband, we were together 4 years, got engaged, got pregnant, had a baby. 6 years in, broke up for 5 years, got secretly dated for a year, got married. Now we will be celebrating 9 years of marriage. So I guess, what is that, 23, 6 and 5 and 9. Okay, 17 years of actually being together. Inside of that, I know that nobody's journey is the same. And I know that nobody's story is the same. And I know that what happens inside of your relationship, only you are living it, because this is your one and only life experience. And you definitely want to make it the best one, that you only get one.
Yeah.
But inside of that, the really scary thing about relationships is you
don't know.
You have no idea. tomorrow my husband could wake up and say, I hate your face, I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I could do about it.
Right.
Like if he was adamant, I mean, I could probably beg him and plead and cry and say, no, don't leave me, don't go. But even then, if he was like, no, I've made up my mind, I'm out.
That's it.
That would be the end.
And that's the risk.
And that would be the end of yeah. And
someone died today.
But seriously, that's the scariest thing about a relationship is you don't know.
You don't know.
Even as far as all the things. I was in a horrific accident 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I could have actually died.
I know.
That could have been the end. I could have widowed my husband and orphaned my children.
Right.
And that would have been the end. That would have been the story that they would have been like, yep, my mom, she died in a car accident. And thank you, Jesus, that didn't happen. But outside of that, we don't know what life has to bring.
Right.
So that's the scariest part.
And trusting because the truth is, and this is where I feel like so many relationships go wrong, is there are so many non-expressed desires and non-expressed expectations. And then that allows for space to creep in. Because it's like, as you fill your relationship with all these things that you're not expressed, it's just space. And shortly after space comes resentment. So now I have all of this resentment in my relationship where now I'm looking at my man kind of like, eh. And for me, to be honest, in dating, that happens for me, like not space, but like me being able to see, like, do I trust your lead? Nah. Like, oh, you make bad or impulsive decisions. I don't trust that as my husband.
Right.
Like when I think of, like, dating is cool. That's fine. But as my husband, being impulsive is dangerous. Not having self-control is dangerous. Not having discipline is dangerous.
Very.
Because I'm following your lead,
Yeah.
you know? And so now it's all of these non-expressed expectations. And then it's just like, you know what? I quit. When you could have had the conversation with me with the first thing that was an issue.
Yeah. And that's really important. Communication is like the number one key. So
That and
for
finance.
my married and finances, that's always a heavy one. But my advice as a married woman, so take my advice or don't. Okay. So my advice inside of that is definitely find a time to communicate and put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
We actually do that. Like every week, it's like a check-in. Is there anything I should be doing better as a wife? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? What would you like to see more of me doing? What would you see less of me doing? Because the beautiful thing is in a relationship, especially if you live together, that person's like a mirror.
Yeah.
They see when you don't clean up or do clean up. They see when you say, I'm going to go to the gym, and then you don't go to the gym. They say, oh, I'm going to start eating healthy, and then they watch you eat a cheeseburger. They say, today's going to be a dry month, and you're like, let's go out for margaritas, right? Like it's always, they're that constant mirror that's in your face because
Of where you're falling short.
And that can become a daunting place and a space, like you said, of resentment based off of, it's almost as if, we tell lies to ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
To ourselves in the sense of, I'm going to go to the gym today and then we don't make it.
Right.
Or I'm going to drink a gallon of water today and then we don't drink it. Or I'm going to pick the salad over the French fries and then you hit the McDonald's drive-thru, right? It's just is what it is. And we tell ourselves these tiny little lies. Now, when you're in a relationship and you're living with someone, it's almost like you're holding that mirror up to your face. And then when I see you, and let's say you were my partner, it's almost like I create this story inside my head, like Sarah's judging me.
Right.
Why is Sarah always judging me? Sarah saw that I didn't go to the gym. She saw that I didn't drink my water. She saw that I ate the French fries. And now instead of it being like, I like being around you, I try to shy away from you, and I push my own self of, I lied to myself and I put that on you.
Yeah.
And it's almost like in a sense of like, have you ever owed somebody money?
Yeah.
And then they call you and it's like, they might even want to offer you like free tickets to the movies or something.
Yeah.
And as soon as you see their number, you're like, dang, I owed him $20.
Right.
And like when you answer, you're like, oh, I'm going to get that $20 to you on Friday is when I get paid. And they're like, oh, I was just calling for like, see if you want to go to the movies.
Right.
But it's like, but
can't
that
help it.
communication.
Yep. It's the shame that you have.
I created a shame in my own life that you're seeing all these things that I'm falling short of.
Yeah.
And because I did want to drink the water. I did want to go to the gym. I did want to have the salad over the French fries. I did want to do better. I did say I wanted to stop drinking so many margaritas on the weekends or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
But now I have this mirror in front of my face that's holding me accountable to what I said that I wanted.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, don't look at me. I just want to be in the dark now.
Yeah.
And you're the light that's coming to shine in the dark, and you're kind of like the vampire, like
Yeah, and
like,
you're like literally shining light on all the skeletons in your closet.
For sure.
And I think that for people that are not prepared to take accountability for where they fall short and they want to stay stuck inside of who they are, that's also not someone that I would date.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people, men and women,
Yeah.
that feel that way. They feel guilty because, let's be honest, we lie to ourselves all the time.
All the time.
We break promises to ourselves all the time. We make commitments all the time that we fall short on. And also as a woman, I feel like there's nothing that breaks my trust more in a man than watching him continuously break the promises he makes to me or himself.
That's real.
And now, if I don't trust you, how could I possibly respect you?
That's real.
If I don't respect you, why am I in this relationship? If you consistently make bad choices, because this is the thing too, if you don't want to go to the gym, don't say it.
That's the part.
If you don't want to eat the salad, don't eat the salad. Like, why do you have to be like, I'm going to get a salad today instead of fries? And then you get why'd you speak on the salad?
Yeah.
Like, be who you are.
Yeah.
And I think we live in a world where so many people, they facade who they are, or they actually really want to be who you want them to be, but they just can't be that person yet because it's not in their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
They don't have that in them. And I've experienced that as well in dating. And it can be frustrating because at first it's like you get so excited about this person that
it's gonna go with the program.
Oh my God, it's like this is my husband, this is my forever, this is my this. And then it's like as you start to really get to know this person, because like I've always said, it takes 6 months for you to really get to know somebody. Around month like 4, 5, and 6 is where they really start to be who they really are.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh damn, like you're not anything like you showed me you were. That was any of this real? And then it makes it like, damn, was any of this real?
Yeah.
Is it me?
Am I the drama?
Am I the drama?
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Like the flip can be crazy. What's up, guys? Sarah Fontenot here. I just had to pause this episode really quick to let you know, if you have not yet, click the link below for our ebook, okay? How to become a more feminine woman. People ask me these things. These are actionable 10 quick steps, intro to femininity, with a video that goes over some things in even more detail. So that's for you. Make sure to click that link below and get your ebook on how to increase your femininity. 10 really simple steps. Love you guys. Now let's get back to it. And I do think, so what do you think about this? Because I feel like we live in a day and age where I feel like the reason why toxic relationships are happening is because women strongly lack accountability and men strongly lack leadership. What do you think? Do you think men lack leadership in today? I mean, you're married. So
I'm married. My husband is a strong leader.
Yeah. But outside of that,
I can just only speak to what I can speak to in my perspective. What I do see is people lack accountability.
Oh, fact.
It's not just women.
But women more so than men.
Why do you say men more than women, or women more than men?
Because women, I feel like we are more tied to shame. We are more tied to guilt, whereas men are more tied to ego. So for us, it's like scary to just be wrong. Like so many men, like men will be like, all right, babe, my bad. But when do we say I'm sorry?
Oh, that's
When
true.
do we say, damn, baby, you're right. I'm sorry. That was me. We don't say that.
Yeah.
We'll change a subject, or we'll activate sexual acts, or we'll get snuggly and kissy and affectionate, or we'll bring gifts, but we don't actually say the words, I'm sorry. For the majority of women, let's be real.
No, that's true. I've seen reels where I have literally split a gut laughing and be like, when my wife says, it was a really cute one where a woman's literally pronouncing, like her husband wrote down all these words, like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but she's saying all the words, and then the word sorry is written there. She's like, sorry, yeah, say sorry. She's
like, I can't.
Yeah,
that's how we are.
Wait, what?
So that's what I mean when I say more women lack accountability
inside of
relationship, and men lack leadership.
So the thing about leadership is, I feel like society has been duped since the internet exists. And I also feel like there are some old school traits that I wish that we did carry forward.
Like what?
I fear for my sons in the sense that they will probably have to ask, what was your gender assigned at birth?
Dang.
That freaks me all the way out, first and foremost. Secondly, like, are women cooking? Are women cleaning? Could you find a woman that you want to be feminine, but the society, and this is not we'd have to go into systemic everything of all the single moms raising girls alone. And yes, they'll learn to be independent and I don't need no man and I'm going to go get my own bag and I'm going to start my own thing and I don't need you. I just really want a wholesome, God-fearing, cooking, loving, endearing, doting, feminine. Like, they'll be my daughters for my sons. And that's hard to find. But because I get it, a single mom, because I've been a single mom, has to be in her masculine to provide, to protect, to be there for her children, which is what the father in the household is supposed to be. And then the roles get mixed up. And I can only imagine that if I was raising daughters, who they would become, seeing me hustle, work 3 jobs, be the provider, be the protector. That would have been very different than my sons watching that. I feel like they admire their moms more, but they definitely see me as a hustler. And now, especially for my 17-year-old son, who got to see both. He got to see now single mom, and he also got to see married mom. And it's funny because even as I have a 6-year-old son also, so the 11-year-old difference with my husband, my 17-year-old son will say, Mom, you never did those things with me, or you never did those things to me, or if I would have XYZ, talking about his little brother, you would have. And the craziest part is, I said this to him. I said, because when you were his age, you didn't have a father in your household. When you were his age, I had to be the stern hand. I had to be the correctional. I had to be the masculine one to show you, we don't do this, we don't wear that, we don't act this way, we don't. But now that the order has been restored in the household, where there's the man who's the leader and the wife who's submissive, not that we don't submit to each other.
I already know.
But then comes the children. I can play inside of the role of which I'm supposed to flow inside of my feminine. And when my 17-year-old sees it, like, what are you talking about? You would have did X. You would have did Y.
You would have.
I don't gotta be the strong arm now.
Yeah.
Now I get to be like, wait till your dad gets home.
Right.
You're gonna be in a lot of trouble, buddy.
Right.
And then dad comes home and he brings the hammer down. Right. Like I get to use that as a threat now. Like, don't make me tell your father.
Right.
And then they're okay.
Right.
I mean, but also they respect their mother because their father respects me.
Right.
And they say, you better respect your mom and you better listen to what she says or the hammer's going to come down. Right. But it's in the restoration, as far as you say, as accountability, it's so hard because women nowadays, we don't have to be held accountable because we're doing everything.
Oh my God. Pause. Whoa. I'm sorry. Women don't have to be held accountable because we do everything?
Because we're doing everything. We're doing everything. So let's say, Sarah, let's take Sarah as a perfect specimen. You pay all your own bills.
I do.
You run your own business.
I do.
You pay your own payroll.
I do.
You've got employees.
I do.
You got your business about you.
Also true.
You know how to cook.
Yes.
You know how to clean.
Yeah. But I hire those.
But you, if you had to do it yourself.
It's true. I know
If
how.
maids fell off the planet of the earth,
Okay.
you know
I
how
don't
to.
like calling them maids. I call them by their names.
If you're cleaners.
No, their names. I just use their specific names.
Okay, well, if Annie
First,
her name's not Annie, but when you say, "Hey, girl, can you get over here and do what you do?"
oh Lord. Okay.
Whether you outsource or not,
Yeah.
you're doing everything.
Okay.
So, in that sense, if I'm coming into a new relationship and I already do everything, and I'm used to doing everything, and you don't take anything off my plate as far as doing everything, even if that means you're not paying for the outsourcing of me to, hey girl, can you come over and do that thing you do when you're in my house and when you leave it's clean like magic, okay? Then what is the point of you? Like why do I have to be held accountable to somebody who's not changing my life? And why would I follow your lead if I don't feel like you're going anywhere? So now men don't know how to lead because I don't have anyone who will follow, but I'm not having anyone who will follow because I'm not exhibiting the leadership qualities, but because you're not giving me an opportunity, but because I don't know how to be a man because I was probably only raised by my mom, and my mom doesn't know how to be a man because it takes a man to raise a man. And it's like this, it's this never-ending story of now I can't be a leader because she won't let me lead her because she saw her mom work 3 jobs and she knows how to do everything all by herself. And here I come as the man and I don't know how to be a man because I was raised by my mom. And now that I'm raised by my mom and I'm being a man and I don't have any leadership qualities because I never led anybody, but now I also don't have the wherewithal to take on any of the things off of your plate. And I feel like I'm not taking those things off my plate, so you don't see me as a leader, and you continue to go in your masculine, and you continue to do all the things, and you do live your life according to, I don't need you, but I want you. And that's a good place to live because should you be dependent on anybody? No. But I feel like the power dynamic of all the things that happen is because women, we don't let men lead, and men, they don't want to be leaders. And why wouldn't you? Like, to be a woman is pretty fine. And I will tell you, in my household, it's great. I don't have to think about anything.
Yeah.
I just got to get up. And if the beautiful part about surrendering to your man or submitting to a man who's led by the right thing is if this sink goes down, it's not my fault. I'm not the captain. I'm not the captain.
That's a fact.
I did not lead us into detriment.
Okay, wait. So I have to ask you this question.
Yeah.
So do then you think that women need men?
Absolutely. We
Why?
do. Well, if the roles were right, because theoretically, no person needs another person.
I agree.
Every person can do anything for themselves.
Yes, but we desire connectedness.
But inside of a heterosexual relationship where man is the leader and then it comes wife and then comes the children, there's an order. The order is broken. And so if I go into my relationship thinking I get to dictate everything, and not to say my husband doesn't heed my advice or I don't get to make decisions or I'm some crazy Stepford wife who doesn't have an opinion or a brain. Let's think about these things, right? If you allow there to be order, and if a man comes in like he is supposed to be the head, and the woman, we're a neck, we lead the direction of where the head's going, right? In that perfect order, in that perfect flow, yes, we absolutely need men. Without men, there'd be no women. There'd be no repopulation, right? If you take it down to biblical, because that's what I know. And God says that a man is the head of the household. He is that covering, that provider, the protector, right? But if we don't give that opportunity, the sick part is inside of the roles of, I don't even know. I wish we could go back to 1950.
Me too, but we're black, so that wouldn't have gone well.
I mean,
however,
not slavery 1950.
No, that's not. I'm talking about civil rights, all of that stuff that was happening.
I meant in the household. The man went to work.
Yes.
Go work for 16 hours, honey. Bring me home your
16 hours.
Well,
it was 8 hours.
It was, even if it was 12 hours. Let's say you worked 2 jobs, 1 job. Heck, you had a husband who worked on Wall Street. He put on a suit. He picked up a briefcase. He walked out the
8
house.
hours.
And when he came home, he had a scotch and a pipe waiting for him and his slippers and his children were well kept and he had a hot meal and he had a beautiful wife and she was wearing a corset dress and
so
looked
beautiful.
so pretty.
My
and
God.
the kids were read to and fed and she had a nanny to help her raise her children because her husband worked so hard and they had a loving relationship and he would be the stern hand and the kids heeded their father. I wish we could go back to that because that's what it should be. Is that what everyone seeks or wants? No, live your best life. Okay, whatever.
I keep saying feminism is a scam.
Feminism is a scam. I do not want to be independent. I want to be so codependent. I need my husband. I want my husband. I want to follow his lead. That's how God created me. He created me in a way to follow. He created me as a helpmate. He created me as the opposite to Adam, right? Okay? I always tease and say, biblically, if you read Genesis, God looks at everything and was like, oh, the light's good, the darkness is good, the plants are good, the animals are good, the man, oh, he ain't good. That's not good.
Not good at all.
But you know what's going to make it good? He needs a woman. Okay, so I'm going to put Adam to sleep. I'm going to take his rib of my rib. I'm going to make woman from man. And they go together. They are a unit.
Yin and the yang.
That is the whole point. That is the fact of life. And should it be that way? Absolutely, yes. We need men. Men was made first, if you want to call it fair or not fair. I feel like God got to take a second, ponder, and be like, you know, it'd be better. No, I'm just playing. I kinda. But the thing about it is, yes, we absolutely need men. And I really feel as though if women could be a woman, if women acted like women
Instead of men.
because
they're acting like men.
We'd have better men.
I feel
Because
strongly.
men also have to like defend themselves.
I also feel like women, we hold the standard.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we all went to a space of, I'm not sleeping with you just because you brought me to dinner. If we all came from a space, even if you're not making, $100,000 as a woman, but you're covering your own basic bills, right? And you're taking care of yourself, right? In an aesthetic way is what I'm saying, and in a spiritual and a mental way.
Go to the gym, drink your water, eat
yes,
the salad.
oh my gosh, talk to God. If you were being that woman, and then you went dating from that space instead of actually being a brokey as a woman, instead of actually being this wounded, hurt person. Like if we actually would focus on, that's what I focus on this. Somebody said, is Sarah about marriage or is she not? Like I can't tell. Like she's a chameleon, and they've been coming for me on the internet, and I'm like,
I don't ever read the comments because you guys are mean and rude for absolutely no reason.
They remade, they responded to different videos that I've done or different interviews that I've done. And I don't care.
I never read the comments, but I'm just.
No, this is what the video was saying.
Oh, the video.
Yes, the video
Someone
responded.
remade a video?
Yeah, they responded to one of my interviews.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, this is the thing. I am pro self-love. That's what I am pro. And I feel like when you have self-love, you are a better person to attract a better person. Now, I also definitely believe in connectedness. I definitely believe in love and passion and all of those things. And at the same time, it's not even logistically possible for every woman to be married. And I also don't think that
statistically,
logistically, there's not enough. Like if you think about the logistics of it all, there are more women than there are men, right? And then you got to think of straight men, right? Then there's all of these different things that start happening and these different filters that make the accessibility to a good actual husband that's just not married yet, like a good person that would make a good husband. It's just not there. So logistically speaking, and same with women, a lot of us are wounded because we didn't know our dads. We're wounded because, whatever it may be. And so it is a systemic thing. And then you get into the economy, and we don't have a black economy, and there's so much.
There's so much wrong with the world.
It's
okay. Jesus is coming back soon. Repent. Repent.
But like really and truly, it makes me just feel like we really as like a unit. I hate for people to say they don't believe in black love and that they don't believe in the black woman. And it's like, no, okay, maybe the woman that you're coming into terms with, because this divisive language is just destroying what could be beautiful.
No, it's already destroyed. And
I rebuke that. I don't receive that.
Destroyed.
I think that it could be, but I think that there's still hope.
Could it be rebuilt? Absolutely. Is there still hope? Sure. You're a platinum needle in a haystack.
I receive that.
And I feel like there is a counterpart to your counterpart.
I agree.
Might not be in America, but
damn.
I mean, we could go to the UK.
She just put me out of America.
We could go to the UK.
I probably won't end up here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we could go to Canada.
Actually, yeah,
we could go to Canada.
Okay.
Anywho.
Yeah.
Society is so broken.
I know.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that across the board, because just like you said, women lack accountability. I'd like to say I'm pretty accountable. And if my husband ever watches this episode.
You're also a platinum needle in a haystack.
If my husband ever watches this episode, honey, put in the comments. Am I true or false? And it doesn't matter because we're married, and I'll fight you later. But either way, not that would be like saying, every black woman is disgruntled. Every black woman is loud.
Yeah, and it's annoying.
Every black woman loves watermelon and chicken.
I feel complete on this topic, but I get what you're saying, and I feel like there is a lot of work for us to do, and we got to work
as a society, though, as a whole, and it's just broken. And what it is it and myself included. So I was unmarried when I had my first kid. I just so happened to marry my baby dad and my ex. It's a story for a different day.
Yeah,
but at the same time, at 20 years old, I wasn't thinking like, oh, if I make a baby with this guy, then I'm creating a broken household and I'm going to maybe potentially marry someone else. It's not my story, but a lot of story for different women. Then I'm going to have to explain why they have different dads. Case in point, my 6-year-old cannot conceptualize his oldest brother has a different mom. He will say, my brother, Tinto, my husband had a son. He was 3 when we met. He's 25 now. But my 6-year-old son, that he is they have different moms. I'm a mom, he has his mom. And he'll say, well, Tinto's my brother. Yes, that is your brother.
Yeah.
And he'll say, he's like, but how? And I'm so analytical. I'm like, there's a woman has an egg, a man has a sperm, they come together, it grows a baby. So I told him, your mommy has an egg, your dad had a sperm, they came together, it made Caprice. Mommy had an egg, daddy had a sperm, came together, it made Conan. Now, Tinto's mommy had an egg, your daddy had a sperm, it came together, it made your brother. And he's like, so she's my sister. Like, no, honey, she's my auntie.
Right.
No, that's just his mom. And so inside of his brain, if we took it from a 6-year-old perspective of like, this is how babies are created. Mm-hmm. And once you divide that, what it creates after that. I don't think anyone ever, even for people who are married or in marriages for 18 years, get a divorce, they don't think about the aftermath of that. But inside of it is like, what is it rooted and grounded in? Holy matrimony. God says you're only allowed to divorce if you're being abused.
Yeah.
So
do you believe that?
I know irreconcilable differences.
Do you believe that?
I do believe that.
Abuse is the only reason to leave? Adultery is not?
Oh, no, that also says that in the Bible. So if you're cheated on or if you're beat, you get to leave.
So what if, well, I don't know, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
No, you can't.
I feel complete. I feel like we got to switch, because we already at an hour. We got to switch topics.
If you're married and you're unhappy, go get happy. Don't divorce your person. 2 people can make it work, period. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how disgruntled.
It's just work.
It's work.
Most people don't want to do the work,
Most people don't want to be.
They don't want to do the work at all. Do you think there's anything I've ever said that I don't live? Or do you think I practice what I preach?
You definitely practice what you preach. So I think I've only ever disagreed with your advice maybe once.
What was it? What'd I say?
We had a conversation about it. It was when you were saying, I don't think it was you. I don't know what you were on, that somebody said that a woman with children is less valuable as a single mom than a dad who has kids as a single dad.
Oh, I agree. Oh, wait, as a single dad, as in he has the kids
He has
full
kids
time?
Full time, yeah.
Oh, that's more similar. But
Yeah.
I was referring to the men, because most times the women are the custodial parent, not
True.
the men.
Yeah,
so
true.
if you only see your kid.
And I think I replied to that. I was like, so you have a dad who created kids, who's not in their kid's life 100%, and that makes him more valuable than a mom who has kids, and they do take care of him 100%. And you said yes. And I was like, well, does that not just make the man a despicable human being? That was my exact response. Because just because you have less responsibility makes you more valuable.
I don't know.
It's pretty wild. But that was the only time I think I've ever disagreed with your logic or advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think...
And only because, like, let's say, not that this would happen, but let's say I get divorced and I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
I'm not less valuable. Would it be more baggage? Sure. Like, you got to take into account.
Well, I've never
I'm
said...
bringing 3 people to the...
I've never said... value is hard.
No,
because-
not value, but just
that's
let's say...
subjective.
Yeah. Case in point, but just so that I can get the point across. If I were single, I birthed 2 children. If I were to be in another relationship, in how you guys were saying it, is like, if you take girl A, she has everything the same as girl B, but girl A has kids. Dude's gonna pick girl B because she comes with no children. However, devil's advocate, what if that man is sterile and always dreamed of having children?
Adopt.
No, I might be his dream woman, and I'm the whole package and everything he's ever wanted, up to and including children.
In vitro.
He might have picked girl A. It's not the same.
It is. You could get in vitro. You could adopt. There's so many ways.
No, but I'm saying, what if you didn't want to adopt? What if you didn't want to spend thousands of dollars for in vitro? But here comes along girl A with 2 little babies, and it's everything I ever wanted.
I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, right?
Course,
but
yeah.
honestly, most of us don't live in the exception.
True.
Most people are not living in the exception. So I speak mostly to the majority and not the exceptions to the rule. Because honestly, you're an exception to the rule. You know what I mean? I think there are so many.
How so?
There's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways.
How am I an exception?
Well, one, you're beautiful, right? So pretty privilege is an exception. You're an exception to the rule.
Wait, so you're saying my baby daddy only wanted to marry me because I'm pretty?
Probably at first, for sure.
Please confirm that.
For sure. For sure. That's why, yes, for sure. You know?
I love this show.
Okay, give me another
I
question.
can't wait for him to see this. This is so good.
We've literally not
you
talked
did
about
a
any of the
4-hour
things.
episode with Cam. You could do at least an hour and a half with me.
No, I don't have an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, you got another person.
Yes, that's the
Dang,
thing.
she runs a tight ship, y'all. Okay, let me peruse these. Okay,
I don't want a business question.
you don't. Okay, rapid fire. Then we're not even going to use these. Rapid fire.
Okay.
What's your favorite color?
Yellow, lime green, and fuchsia.
What's your favorite animal?
A gazelle.
If you could travel to anywhere right now today with zero expense to you, where would you go?
This is supposed to be rapid fire.
Rapid fire, quickly, woman. Where would you go? Turks and
Philippines.
Caicos. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. What's your favorite food? Smoothies.
Smoothies.
I knew she was
I love fruit.
That's not
I love
food.
papaya from other countries. I hate papaya here. It has a very strange aftertaste. I'm like, what is this?
When was the last time you ate meat?
Meat? 8, 9, 10 years ago.
When did you become a selectitarian?
Probably 3 years ago because I was eating fish 3 years ago.
How many businesses have you built from the ground up? This is not rapid.
5.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I know all of them. How many people have you helped build their business from the ground up?
Thousands.
Rapid fire. Okay, hold on. How many books have you ever read?
Hundreds.
Probably thousands.
Possibly. I might have cracked 1,000, to be honest.
What was your favorite childhood snack?
Teddy Grahams and applesauce.
Those are still her favorites. Would you stop peeing the bed?
Shut up. Okay, so I got a story for y'all, okay? Lauren used to make me sleep under the bed because I think I peed the bed till I was like 11
Yeah.
or maybe 10.
10, for sure.
Maybe 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a really late bloomer. I just couldn't get with it.
There was a lot of kids and we had to share a room.
Yeah.
And we had to share a bed.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Also. We had to
So
share a
Lauren
bed.
made me sleep under the bed, but there's hope for you. You know, if you are a late bloomer and you are a late bedwetter, just know it gets better from here. Okay, I hadn't had an accident in decades. All right, so
I love that.
There's that.
love
There's
it.
that. Okay.
How many snow forts have you ever built?
Oh my God, so many. I don't know.
What was your favorite thing about going tobogganing?
It was fun.
To ride down?
Yeah.
Have you ever had to put your
I
toes?
like crazy carpets more than GTs.
Have you ever put your cold toes in a sibling's armpit to keep warm so you didn't have to
Absolutely.
leave?
Or behind your knees. Behind your knees for sure. In the elbows. For sure. Yes.
What's your favorite donut?
Chocolate glaze.
What's your favorite
From Tim Hortons.
Yes.
I hate donuts in America.
Yeah,
they're trash. I have never had a good donut in America.
I don't care about a Krispy Kreme or a Dunkin' or a
Krispy Kreme hurts my stomach sometimes. But they're delightful. But sometimes my stomach, I think it's just too much sugar
America
for me.
doesn't know how to make donuts.
I agree. Tim Hortons, chocolate glazed donuts.
What's your favorite beverage outside of water? We're live.
What's my favorite beverage?
It's tea. Just say tea.
Oh, I love tea. Yeah. I was like trying to run through juices in my mind. Like, I don't ever drink this, but I could say it. Okay, it is tea. I love a chai, a lavender chai tea latte. I love an English breakfast tea.
Yes.
I love
And she likes it with with coffee creamer.
Yeah, I do.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But totally okay.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite celebrity you've ever met?
Ooh. My favorite celebrity. I cried when I met Les Brown.
Yeah.
That was a big deal for me.
that your favorite?
He did it on our podcast. My favorite celebrity I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
I've met a lot of celebrities.
Who's your favorite? You can only pick one. Rapid fire.
I don't know. I haven't met him. She did.
I totally.
If I
did.
met him, I would have married him before his wife did.
Caprice might have a different dad, but I look like a mud duck. I'm just playing, babe. I'm just kidding. I love you. Continue.
Yeah, that was one. Okay. Next question. I don't know.
You didn't pick a celebrity?
I don't have one. Les Brown.
Okay. Les Brown. Boom. Okay. Another question. Where's your favorite place you've ever visited?
Santorini, Greece. We were there together.
We did. We were. I swam in the Mediterranean Sea.
We did. I cried like an infant child.
We rode on
a
the
lot of
yacht.
different times.
That
It was
was
great.
that was a beautiful,
So
beautiful trip.
really great
The
trip.
colors, phenomenal.
What was your favorite part about that trip?
Definitely the Coliseum.
Oh, yeah.
That was my
We did
crying
Rome.
moment. She cried like almost everything we seen. She was like, the water, oh, because we've done a lot of traveling.
We have.
The yacht, oh,
That's when I thought
the
that
Airbnb, oh.
that's when I thought it was like I made it. Like I felt like I actually had built success in real life.
Beyonce on the run tour.
Yeah, I cried.
And then we did. I'm like a history buff. I love knowing how things were made, and I don't even know what came over me. We had to put in our headphones because our tour guide Sarah had got I shouldn't say bought. She doesn't like saying that, but we paid a person who knew the history of the Coliseum to walk us around the Coliseum. So we got a VIP private tour of the Coliseum, and we had to use a translator because homegirl only spoke whatever language they speak in Greece. Greek. I don't know if she was speaking
in Rome.
Greek. Rome, yeah.
She was speaking Italian.
Italian, yeah. And so when we put the headphones in, I don't know what came over me, but I was just like, like it's happening. Like I'm learning the history of the Colosseum, and I'm here, and I'm living it in real life, and it's giving Gladiator.
Yeah, that trip for me was like because that was the first time. Like, well, it wasn't my first time flying overseas, but like going first class.
Oh, yeah. That was a surprise that she did. My sister's the greatest, first of all. Even on this trip, I got like 4 new workout outfits. And she's like, because you live in the gym, pick whatever you want, guys. I'm like, me? Okay. What about this one? Can I have this one? She's like, if you want it. I'm like, well, what about this one too?
You picked out really cute stuff.
Oh, what about this one? She's like, get it. Okay. But one cool thing is I knew I was going to Greece, and Sarah paid for everything for me, which was really cool. But then when we got there, she's like, I got an extra surprise. And she had upgraded our tickets to first class. Now, mind you, I'd flown first class before, but never overseas. She got them Johns that like our thing turned into a bed. We had like a cubby. People were like, all the food. This is how not bougie I didn't know that I wasn't. I was like, no, I've experienced first class before. I've flown first class. That's not a big deal. I thought the appetizer was my meal.
Yeah.
So much so, like, because I'm doing it for the gram. Like, oh, look at, I got shrimp something, and then the meal came, and I was like, yo, there's levels to this stuff. I got slippers. They gave me slippers. I never had slippers in first class. They gave me a little like eye cover thing. It was an experience that I was just so grateful.
I had a great time.
That was a mama we made it moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Because flying first class overseas, and you spoiled me. I'll never do it any other way. Like sit in regular for 20 hours? No. We're not going to do that.
But we had a 3.5 week trip. We did Santorini, Athens, and Rome.
Yeah, it was so good.
It was great.
It was so good.
Cry moments for sure.
Definitely
a lot of cry moments.
When I was crying while I was swimming in the Mediterranean Sea because Sarah rented a yacht and the guy stopped. We did the thing, and then
they put the anchor
he
down.
stopped. He put the anchor down. He's like, "You can get in if you want." I was like, "Get in." Sarah was like, "Absolutely not. I'm not doing that." I was like, "I'm doing it. Take my picture." And I was like, "I'm swimming in the sea." You know what the crazy part is?
What?
I was 20 weeks pregnant.
I didn't
even know.
I know.
So technically, Conan's been in the Mediterranean Sea inside his mom's tummy. So that's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Okay, rapid fire.
Okay, we have 2 more minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes.
Yep.
Dang it. Okay, what questions can I ask?
I don't know.
Have you ever been skydiving?
Yes.
Would you ever do it again?
Only in Dubai.
Have you ever been ziplining?
Yes.
Would you ever do it again?
Done one, you've done them all.
Okay. What's the next adventurous thing you're excited to do?
I'm going to Costa Rica for my birthday.
Oh, it's her birthday. It's her birthday. Yeah. Okay, that's very exciting. Have you ever been to Costa Rica before?
I don't know. I've been so many. I don't remember, to be honest.
The Maldives.
I've been to a lot of places.
Yeah. What's your favorite lip color?
Oh, I like brown from NYX mixed with macaroon from Haas. That's what I do on my lips every time, pretty much.
What's your favorite hair color?
I feel sexier when I'm blonde, but I feel much more regal when I'm dark.
Who's your favorite sister?
You are.
She only has one. She only got one sister. That's pretty funny. Baited. I baited that one.
She baited it because she's sitting here. That's what that is.
When did you create the slogan? And I know this answer. You are freaking phenomenalbomb.com and nothing can stop you but you. So you get out there and you get it.
I don't even really know when I created that.
That's like 12 years ago.
Oh, I've been saying that long?
For sure.
Damn. I didn't even know.
The fact that I can say that.
You are freaking phenomenal. Bomb.com. Nothing can stop you but you, but you got to do something about it.
Let's get it, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, where's your favorite place that you've ever spoken as like a...
Iceland.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
That was cool.
That was crazy.
And you were in one of the 6 wonders, 8 wonders of the world.
Lagoon.
Yeah. That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
Okay. You've done a lot of things.
I know.
You've been a lot of places.
I have.
You've helped a lot of people.
True.
I feel like you're a really good person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You really do feel that way.
I do.
I received that.
You're a good person.
Thank you.
And one day, you're a good person will come, if that's what you want. I don't think you want that right now, though. I think that's why you're not finding the person that you want, is because I feel, and this is for everyone, listen, word of advice, we're here. Mm-hmm. You attract what you want subconsciously and consciously.
Yes.
So you got to speak it into existence. Mm-hmm. However, I've never heard my sister really think or pray or manifest on a husband, like a whole husband. I think she thinks it's a great idea. I think that she thinks that she wants that. But I also think that she goes against the grain. And one of the 5 businesses she's built from scratch is Disruptor Elite, because she disrupts the regular. And so she's not regular. But I can say being happy by yourself is better than being miserable with someone else.
Ooh.
And that's where I'll leave it.
Okay, so look, pause. I know you're enjoying this episode. I'll be super quick, okay? When you are on the go and you want to look cute, baby, we got merch now, okay? So if your hair is a little tussled, turned, the edge control ain't edge controlling, go ahead and get you a cute little It's Giving hat. Or if you're thirsty, feeling parched, and you want your drink to stay cold all day, there was nothing in this cup. But you know what? It will keep my beverages cold. So if this is for you guys, we got hoodies, we got all the things. Make sure to check out the store below and get what you love. Let me tell you, it is quality over here, baby. Let's get it. Back to the show. I gotta say thank you so much for coming on the show today.
You're very welcome.
You dropped some bars. I already know one thing I'm clipping for sure. But you are just a phenomenal woman. You are an incredible mother. You are an amazing wife. You are an inspiration to me. You are a confidant to me, and a constant encourager. Just literally one of the best people I know. Again, guys, I am going to connect her podcast in the description box below. And I just gotta say thank you for everything. Yeah. All you are, who you are, all you do, all you've been.
Love of my heart. She's laying it on thick.
No, I mean, it's just honest. It's just very honest. And I think that you teach through stories. And I think that somebody listening or watching this will absolutely be touched and transformed by this. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Yes. And if you guys have made it this far, please hit that button below, get subscribed, hit that little bell so you get a notification with each new piece of content. And like my sister already said, if you don't know, okay, you are freaking phenomenal. Bomb.com. Nothing can stop you but you. But you got to do something about it. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.